Exactly what do you have in mind, Helena?
Violet, you sound so suspicious.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid over the years I've learned to be rather wary of your ideas.
Well, the least you can do is show some gratitude after I flew all the way back here to help you.
I am very grateful that you returned.
Good. Then you'll have to trust me to do this my way.
Does that mean that you won't tell me how you plan to dissuade Mr. McCord?
You said anything about dissuading him?
You're not thinking of going with him.
I didn't say that.
No, but that is what you mean. Now, you listen to me, Helena. If you even consider accompanying Mr. McCord, I will be forced to tell Nola everything about that horrifying expedition.
That is the worst thing you could possibly do. Quentin would be furious with you if he found out you told Nola the truth.
Well, that is a risk I would have to take, if it means protecting him.
You never learn, do you, Violet? There is more than one way to get what you want in this life.
Well, I've always preferred to be open about things. You've always preferred subterfuge.
Don't undersell subterfuge, my pet. A little can get you a long way in this life.
Helena, I must know this. Is Silas Crocker involved in your plan?
Of course not. I want to help Quentin, not destroy him.
And I want to believe that.
Then do, because it's the truth. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am very tired.
Yes, of course. You will find that your room has been prepared.
Thank you. I have to be in complete charge of all my faculties before I face Quentin again.
Now, look, we're going to concentrate in this quadrant.
I'll map out a suitable campsite so we can establish a base of operations.
Well, I believe there's one approximately here.
Good. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything else we need.
Oh, yes, we're going to need a Geiger counter.
Quentin, do you think you can pull yourself away from those maps long enough to talk to me?
I'm a very busy man, Helena.
Too busy to hear the marvelous idea I have, which will ensure that your dig is a complete and total success? I thought that would get your attention.
What are you talking about, Helena?
Quentin, I wish you wouldn't be so annoyed. I'm doing this for you.
Helena, I'm extremely busy. I am not interested in your ideas or concerns.
Gunther, be a darling. This won't take more than a minute. You wouldn't mind waiting in the foyer, would you?
Quentin, do you want me to stay?
No, it's quite all right. I can handle Miss Manzini, but don't go far away. We have important work to do later.
Be in the lab.
Thank you, Gunther.
Well,
Don't rush me.
Helena, I am very busy. Now, what do
Quentin,
you want?
I am not going back to Italy.
All right, so you're going to stay here in Springfield?
No. I'm going with you to Tanquir. I'm going to accompany you and Gunther on the dig. Aren't you thrilled?
Flew all the way from Italy just to tell me that you're going to turn around and go with me to Tanquir. You're wasting your time.
I'm not wasting anyone's time. I am going with you, and that's that.
You are the last person in the world that I would take with me because of your lechery, your treachery, and everything else.
Mr. McCord! When Gunther had to leave, he said that he would call you later.
Yes, now tell me why you asked Miss Manzini to come back from Italy when you don't trust her any more than I do, and why did you tell her it's all right for her to come along with me to Tanquir?
I did not. I would never do that.
Yes, you would. Would do anything to stop me from succeeding in this. Well, I'm going to tell both of you right now there's nothing either one of you can say or do that would dissuade me. I am leaving for Tanquir by the end of the week.
You are right. I would do anything to keep you from sacrificing yourself this way. But I had no hand in asking Helena to go along with you. That was her own idea, I can assure you.
Don't you think you were a bit hard on poor Violet? I really think you ought to apologize to her, Quentin, or she may throw herself off the roof of the Springfield Towers.
I will deal with Mrs. Renfield in my own time, because I have a more immediate problem to deal with now.
Oh, surely you couldn't be referring to me.
Now listen to me, Helena. There is no way in this world that you're going with me.
Oh, but there is, Quentin. You see, I have an up-to-date passport, the money for the plane ticket. I may have to buy a few supplies, some appropriate clothing, but that's all part of the fun of going on a dig, isn't it?
Why would you want to go anywhere where you're so blatantly unwanted?
To help you!
Oh, the way you helped me on that first excavation in Tanquir 10 years ago? You couldn't help me then. You could hardly be expected to help me now.
Fritz said you wanted to see me.
That's right, Mrs. Renfield. I have something to say to you, and I can no longer put it off.
What is it you wanted to say to me?
Helena said a great deal to me earlier, most of which I disregarded. But there was one point that she made that I had to agree with.
Oh, what was that?
That I owe you an apology.
I understand that you're going through a terrible time of turmoil. No apology is necessary.
Oh, yes, it is, Mrs. Renfield. I know now that you called Helena and had her come back here, and what you felt was my best interest. Now, will you accept my apology? There's so much that I want to say to you, but I want to make sure that we're back on that same loving footing as we were before.
I could never stop loving you. And of course, I accept your apology.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Renfield. Please, sit down. Now, I must tell you why I have to go back to Tanquir.
But you don't have...
Now, Mrs. Renfield, listen to me. You raised me with a set of values. Values which included honor and decency, duty. Values that in the world now seem, well, they're in conflict, but I strive to stay with him nonetheless.
I am very glad that I was able to give you that.
Well, then you must realize why I have to go back to Tanquir. I must find out the truth of what happened 10 years ago and face the consequences, whatever they are.
I do understand. But there comes a time in life when one must say what is done is done.
You can say that. In spite of the personal loss that you suffered.
10 years is a very long time.
Yes, it is. There's no statute of limitations on truth, morality. You know that as well as I do. So you must know that, well, I need your blessing in this venture. All right, if I cannot have your blessing, at least your support.
You will always have my support.
Thank you, Mrs. Renfield. Thank you. There's something else I want to apologize for. I know I berated you about this before, but now I'm glad that you did it.
Oh?
Yes. I'm glad that you told Nola that Henry Chamberlain is my father. You know, she understands me so much better now. It's brought us closer together.
Well, I'm very, very happy about that. But I am very disappointed that Nola was unable to dissuade you from going on this trip to Tanquir.
Mrs. Renfield, she realizes that I must clear my name in order to go to Henry with the truth and to make that lifelong commitment to her that we both so desperately want.
Well, Nola is a very, very brave young woman to give you up to such a dangerous trip. However, it must be compensating to her to know that her brother Anthony is going with you.
Anthony won't be going.
What?
That's right. Well, he's romantically involved with the young lady, and he's loath to let her go. I can't really blame him, and so I released him from his promise.
But who will be going with you?
Gunther. He's more than a mere companion. He's trained in archaeology, and he knows Tanquir.
Yes, I know, but Gunther doesn't know the real reason for this trip.
Ah, but he does, Mrs. Renfield. At least enough of it to be a help to me. The only problem I have now is making sure that Helena doesn't follow us.
Mr. McCord, if Anthony is not going with you, and if the worst should happen, who will tell Nola that you may never return?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Renfield. But you must be the one to tell Nola. To make her understand.